Hey, you guys, I'm so sorry. I was having technical technical difficulties. I don't know. It's just been a lot going on. Honestly, I don't even know how to start this video off because this is a very touchy. Well, I don't even want to say a touchy subject, but I want to say that it's sensitive for most people to talk about it. Well, actually, the truth is it makes people sensitive anyway. So, um, I'm a little nervous right now because I really don't like to have. I really don't like to have these sort of discussions. I do, but I don't because the reason why I don't is because I don't want people to misinterpret what I'm trying to say, or I don't want to come across as something that I'm not. You know what I'm saying? It's just that I've always been the person that um, I want to know the truth about things, and I've always been like a research junkie. But anyway, needless to say, I have notes. I have a ton of notes. So this is going to be a long video. Hopefully not too long, but this is my scriptures I got. I got them all written down. I have a lot of scriptures and stuff. And yeah, lots of notes, lots of notes. You know, and I also got some books that I want to show you, um, show to you guys. So this live is inspired by uh this live is inspired by a documentary that I watched about 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago maybe, um, called White Out. White It Out. I posted it on my page. I want to say like 2 weeks ago, I think, and I said that I think I said I think and I put in that post. Everyone should watch that video. It doesn't matter what race you are, right? So this video, um, yeah, it doesn't matter what race you are. Everyone should watch that documentary. It's called White It Out. It's on YouTube. I think it's like seven parts, 9 parts maybe. I'm not sure, but it breaks down history, and we know that history is they cover up real history. You know what I'm saying? They only tell you what they want you to hear. So I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna really get into it. And so if you see me looking down and stuff like that, I'm referring to my notes and stuff like that. So in all my videos, everything that I post, whatever, I'm in different groups on Facebook. So I'll be posting stuff and I'll be posting them in the groups, and people be coming for my neck sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Because I've come to learn that the truth ain't for everyone. And it's really not. Some people want to stay in bondage. Some people want to stay doing their sin. Some people would just want to stay religious and not really do the truth. So I'll be ruffling feathers daily. Believe it or not, daily I ruffle feathers. And it's never my intention to ruffle the feathers, but you know what I'm saying? People need to know the truth, need to hear the truth, and kind of go from there. At the end of the day, again, I'm going to say this. I'm not here to persuade you, but to inspire you for change, to want to do things the right way. So, with that being said, everything that I talk about or post about, you need to verify it. Look it up for yourself. Don't just take my word for it. There's too many people that um, hearsay, um, hearsay, and go off of that as fact. No, look it up for yourself. You know what I mean? And that's why I be leaving like the scriptures behind stuff, because you guys need to check this stuff out and read it for yourself and know this information for yourself. Because at the end of the day, I'm not into no cult, none of that stuff. I want to create an audience that think for themselves. They think for themselves. They look up stuff for themselves. They don't take my word for it or anybody's word for it. They study the scriptures daily, like the Bereans did in Acts 17:11. You have to know for yourself. And that's why it's so many people blind leading the blind, and they just going off what people are saying, especially particularly pastors. They just go off what pastors say and take that as gold. No, you need to look stuff up for yourself. So that's the kind of audience I want to create in this video. I mean, in all my videos and all my posts, everything. Don't just take my word for it. You know what I'm saying? I want to create people I want to influence an audience of people to look up information for yourself. Look scriptures up for yourself. Understand the Bible for yourself. The Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh. I'm into now really saying the Hebrew words. We're going to get into that though. The Ruach HaKodesh, which means the Holy Spirit, will teach you all things. It says it in the word, but we're going to jump right into it. So I always like to start off with myself because I feel like I'm very, very relatable. And I just want you guys to know that I'm not here to look down on anybody, on anyone or anything. You know what I mean? It's just, I've been where people been before, where people are at before. You know what I'm saying? I've been learning slowly but surely. I've been learning, and I'm always open to the truth. You know what I'm saying? So number one, so I have okay. So I grew up into church, like I said, when I lived in Texas. I remember going to a church called Calvary Baptist, and it was a Baptist church. So I went there when I was real small. I was like a toddler and all that stuff. Then when I moved to California, I was raised in this particular church. It was Church of God in Christ. So I was raised in that denomination for many, many years. I was in a purity band, sunshine band, all that stuff. Purity, whatever it was called. Yeah, I was in all of that, all of those kind of programs or whatever. So I celebrated like I celebrated all the holidays. Only holidays that I didn't celebrate was Halloween. My mom always told us that that was the devil's day, the Day of the Dead, stuff like that. So I never was really, I never really celebrate that. But I used to celebrate Christmas. I celebrate Thanksgiving. I celebrated Easter. I celebrated all those holidays. And I just thought that that was the normal thing to do. So, and I did that for many, many years. Many, many years. I don't want to say that I was attached to the holidays because I never was. I really didn't care that much. It was just more so like, oh, this is what we do. This is, what we do every year. So, like it was just kind of like that. But I never was so attached to it that I couldn't break free from doing that. So that was that. So I celebrated all the holidays. And then number two, I thought Sunday was the day that everybody go to church. Like that was this day set apart that the whole world know that Sunday is the day that you go to church. That's what I'm saying. I grew up thinking that for many, many years. Also, number three, this is not in no specific order, but this is just to give a breakdown of where I've been to how I got to where I am now, right? So okay, so number three, um, I called Yeshua Jesus. All my life, I knew him as Jesus Christ and stuff like that. That's all. I never called him by his Hebrew name. Never did I do that. Um, I called, yeah, I called him Jesus. That's what I knew. That's what I knew him as. I got saved saying Jesus. I rebuked Satan in the name of Jesus. I did all of that. You know what I'm saying? So that was another thing. I'm telling you what I learned growing up. Number four, uh, as I get older, but as I was older though, I was always a person that was a research junkie. Like I know now, information is at your fingertips basically, like, because we got our cell phones and we got computers. We could just type up stuff in Google and look up information like that. But I used to go to libraries when I was young, and I read a lot of books, stuff like that. And my mom, um yeah, so I was always curious about certain things, and one thing for sure, my mom, not only did she teach us about the Bible and stuff like that, but she also made sure that we knew our history. Like, um, we knew Black history. So she had all kind of books and stuff like that that I would read and ask her questions about and stuff like that. So, I was always kind of the kind of person that was into research. Um, but as time got came along, um, okay, so this is where it really started for me to really start just really. No, I'm gonna say this. I was always open to knowledge and knowing stuff. You know, from a young age. But this is how it really started for us. So my mom was dating this guy years ago, and he was a 7 Day Adventist church. He went to a 7 Day Adventist church, and he taught my mom about the Sabbath and how Saturday was the true day of worship, and how the Roman Catholics is the one that changed the day of worship from Saturday to Sunday and stuff like that. So my mom was very like, oh wow, I never knew that, and she was very open to the information. So then she was telling me about it, and I was just like, oh, for real, whatever. So we started going to a 7 Day Adventist church, and we went there for a number of years. I can't tell you how many years we went there, excuse me, but we went to a 7 Day Adventist church for um a long time. For a few years we went there, and we learned a lot about the Sabbath and stuff like that. Now, 7 Day Adventist, that's a whole nother thing within itself. But excuse me, what we got from going to that church was the real day of worship. But they was into all Ellen G. White and all that stuff. Reading her. Sometimes they would look at her higher than Yah and all that stuff. So yeah, so we was there for a number of years, but we got out of that. We left the 7 Day church because it was just a lot of stuff that there was more so. Well, the church that I went to, I'm gonna say that they was like the Sadducees and the Pharisees. If you ever read about the Sadducees and the Pharisees in the New Testament, how they was so religious, and they was focused on the doctrines of men and stuff like that. Like it gave cult. You know what I'm saying? So they wanted to, whatever. So we went there for a number of years. Then the problems that we would have at that church caused us to like stop going. So we had stopped going, and then so I was out of. So then we started going to another church, which was non-denomination. I'm not gonna mention the church name or whatever. I'm not gonna mention none of these churches' names, but we started going to a non-denomination, and we was going there for a long time. And that particular church, it's like it's a lot of them. It's a lot of them. That particular church try to control the way that you think, and they would try to influence people on who to vote for and stuff like that. It was very, at the time. But see, I could say this: at all the churches that I've been at, I was exposed to a little bit of truth. It was like the seed was planted, but I was not. Um, I wasn't growing because I was a babe. I was a babe in Christ for a very, very long time. You know what I'm saying? So certain seeds was planted to where it's like, oh, okay, I didn't know that, but I wasn't growing. If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't growing. So we was going to that church, and it's a lot of favoritism, and that's the one I was talking about where Though in one of my live videos, I was talking about how the wife was like, "Oh, you need to go to the," I was short on my rent, and I asked her husband, the pastor to help me, whatever, and she told me to go to the county building, that church. Uh, I ended up stop going there because the people there were so like fake. I'm just gonna be real. The people there at that church, I'm not gonna say everybody, but a lot of people there at that church was very fake, and very like holier than thou, look down upon you like they was better. So that church called going to that church for a while caused me not to never ever want to step foot in the church again. That's how um the people in that church. That's how. Oh, shoot. That's how. Excuse me. That's how the people in that particular church made me feel, to where I'm like, I don't never want to go to church. I don't never want to go to that church again. Go to church, any church again. So then for a while, I was kind of like, um, and now mind you, the church that I was talking, that I just was referring to, I was going, I had went back to Sunday church, so I'm back going back to church on Sunday. So that was that. So then after a while, I started like church hopping. After that, I quit going to that church, and I started church hopping to try to find me a good church home. And it's sad because there's so many churches out here. It's so many churches out here, like, and it's hard to find one good one. You know what I'm saying? So I was church hopping a lot, trying to find me a particular church, and then I found one Sunday church that I haven't been there since COVID hit. It kind of like changed the game for me. That because I was going there every Sunday faithfully. I love the people there. I still love the people there. But again, they worship the pagan holidays and stuff like that, and so I don't. I kind of like fell back from that, and let me see. Yeah, so I was going to that church, and I still talk to some of the people from that church. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been in a while. I'm probably gonna go back and visit, but now I'm in a Sabbath group um, that I've been involved in since May of this year. So we are it's nothing like being with like-minded believers, to where we know the truth about the holidays. We know the truth about saying Yah's name and stuff like that. And they really helped me to get out of the habit of saying Jesus, and I got out of the habit of saying, excuse me, God and stuff like that, because we gonna get into that. You know what I'm saying? So, and with this group, I've been in this group since May. I have learned so much from this Sabbath group that I've ever learned in my whole entire life growing up in church. And I'm 42 years old, and this is a fact. And I really appreciate this group because Yah has grown me so. I have grown so much spiritually within this group. Like y'all really been working on me and showing me a whole lot of stuff. So, um, and honestly, uh, I believe, honestly, this is my belief. I'm not saying that this is written in stone. I'm not saying that the Bible is saying this or nothing like that. This is my belief. I really do believe that the Antichrist will come through the Catholic Church, and you're gonna see why. Because I got some points I want, but I really do believe that because they think they think that they are equivalent to Yah, you know, and all the stuff that they have done through the years or whatever. So yeah, so it started off with going to church on the Sabbath. Um, when the truth was starting to really be exposed to me and my family. Me and my mom was going through the same type of spiritual journey at the same time, even though me and her was uh, not where we should have been, um, not where we should have been as far as our relationship goes. Like we wasn't, but we still was learning. We was growing. Y'all was revealing things to us and stuff like that. So, so really, when COVID-19 hit and the whole world was shut down, this is where it kind of like took off from there for me, and how COVID-19 exposed a whole lot of stuff. Um, oh shoot. Um, COVID-19 exposed a whole lot of things that I believe that I wasn't aware of, and yeah, he uh, showed me a lot of things, and I hate to even say this, but this is mostly what this live is about. I hate to even go here because I don't guys want you to think that I'm anyway. I realized that a lot of European, I'm not saying that all of them are, okay? So don't mistake what I'm saying, okay? This is why I really didn't want to talk about this, because I know somebody gonna be like, oh, she's this and she's that, but I'm not. Uh, I realized that a lot of European evangelicals were racist. At this time, we was really going through um the whole not little the whole George Floyd thing and stuff like that. It was just like a lot of our African Americans getting killed and stuff like that. Those type of things, and that's when Trump was running, and we all know Trump is a racist and all that stuff, and how a lot of these white European evangelicals were in support of his shenanigans, and it just basically exposed who they were. It used to be this one guy I used to watch on YouTube. I'm not gonna say his name. He's a European, right? I used to like watching his videos because he would expose the prosperity gospel. And so I loved watching his videos and stuff like that, and seeing how he was calling them out for telling people like Benny Hinn, how Benny Hinn had this quote unquote healing ministry and all that stuff, and you give up all this money, y'all gonna heal you and all this BS. So I would watch him, and I really liked watching him expose them and break down uh the Bible against that, right? So one day he said something that kind of turned me off from him. And I'm just like, I kind of after that I stopped watching his stuff. He has said something about he felt like uh Obama being into office was a judgment on the earth, a judgment upon earth. But on the flip side of that coin, when Trump was running for office, he was in full support of Trump, and he had even made a video designated to Trump, and trying to encourage him. I guess when he lost the second election and stuff like that. Like, and I'm like, first of all, why are we even worried about who's running for office anyway? But that's another topic for another day. I'm not gonna even go there because I'm make somebody mad about that. So I'm not gonna even talk about that. But so I started seeing how people was um uh how people, of different nationalities really, was racist, and I'm just like, so I was exposed to that, but I never thought nothing of it, I guess. But I did know because it was another radio station that I used to listen to when I first became a follower of Yah. It was a radio station that I used to listen to, and even though I'm like still a babe in Christ and all that stuff, I'm not understanding a whole lot of things. I what the stuff that it was talk about, how they would say it, it was like man, these people, this whole station is is racist. You know what I'm saying? So after a while, I just stopped listening to. I stopped listening to them. You know, it's like, yeah, I don't even want to indulge myself. So yeah, so COVID-19 was another, like, okay, y'all exposing other stuff in other areas, right? So um fast forward, I don't know, I can't remember how. I don't think I know that story, but my mom, she had started reading the book of Enoch. So let me show you this book right here. I got some books I'm gonna show you. My mom started reading this book right here, the book of Enoch, right? And she was telling me about this book, even though I've heard of the book of Enoch ever since I was a kid. I heard about the quote unquote lost books of the Bible, as they call them. It's not a lost book. They took them out. Um, I knew about the book of Enoch since I was a kid, but I just, you know, it just wasn't like something I'm like, oh, I want to read it, you know. So my mom started writing. So I'm gonna show you this book again. So if you're interested in buying this book for yourself, you can get it on Amazon. This is the deluxe collection, you know. So I started reading this book. My mom was telling me about this book first. No, my mom was telling me about the book first, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, Tony, you need to read this book. You need to read this book." It's like once you start reading the pages, like once you start reading it, you're not gonna want to put the book down, right? So I'm like, "For real?" So she's like, "Yeah." So she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna buy you the book, and you can read it, right?" So she buys me the book, and when I tell you, what she said was like on point, and I'm just like, "What?" Like it actually fills in some gaps. Because, okay, I remember in the book of Genesis, it talked about Enoch, a small portion of Enoch, and it said um, that y'all took, uh, that basically, y'all, he went to heaven. He went to all I knew about Enoch is that he went. Him and Elijah was the only two people that never died. They went to heaven. You know what I'm saying? So I remember I used to always wonder about, man, why the I would always wonder, like, why the Bible don't talk about Enoch. Like I want to know about Enoch. I would say that, but that was just that. I never, like, thought to look into trying to read the book. Because at the time, again, information now is so at your fingertips, and now they're trying to mess with that, so you can't even really know the truth too. That's another thing, but we will get into that. Um, so yeah, so I'm started reading the book of Enoch, and I'm like, oh my goodness! It explains how the giants came up on the earth, because in the book of Genesis. One second, let me close my window because these kids are screaming. Sorry, y'all. Kids, they be screaming. But anyway, so in the book of Genesis, it talks about the giants on the earth and all that stuff. The book of Enoch tells you how the giants came about. The fallen angels was lusting after the women on the earth, and they, married them and procreated with the women on the earth and created giants and all that stuff. It talks about that. It talks about how the fallen angels taught people secrets of heaven, and that's why y'all destroyed the earth with water, because we wasn't supposed to know this stuff about the metals of the earth, like gold and all that stuff. We wasn't supposed to know about that stuff. We wasn't supposed to know about uh how to make weapons and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? The fallen angels taught the people how to make weapons and stuff like that, and how the women to wear makeup to entice men and stuff like that. So the book of Enoch tells you all of that. It even tells you the names of the angels, that the fallen angels. It tells you the name of the fallen angels. It tells you about Noah. Now, and how Noah was born. When Noah was born, it talks about that. How Noah, um, his dad was scared of his baby because he didn't understand why his baby's skin was so white. So basically, Noah was albino, and they never seen anything like that before. So anyway, so it puts a lot of things into perspective, a lot of holes uh that's in the 66 books of the Bible. It fills in a lot of, it fills in gaps within this one. The, this is the King James version, but it fills in a lot of gaps of this book, right? So after reading that, I was just like, whoa, like I really started to like, it really started opening my eyes. So after that, it just started going up from there. It started going up from there, and then I got the I'm about to show you all these books that I got. Then I started getting into, I heard about, I was watching a video on YouTube called the name the people on wait the guy channel name is called Truth Unedited. So he was talking about the different versions of the Bible and stuff like that. And I can't remember the name of the video that he did, but he mentioned the Hallelujah Scriptures. It's called Hallelujah Scriptures, and he talked about the Sefer Bible. So we decided, me and my mom, we decided to get the Sefer Bible. Now the Sefer Bible, see, look, I'll show you again. If you ever want to purchase this Bible, right? And you see how, let's compare the two Bibles. This is the 66 books of the Bible. This is the Sefer Bible. It's way thicker than this Bible. This Bible is thicker than this Bible is thicker than this Bible. Why? Because this Bible has 21 books of the Bible that was removed, right? So, I'm gonna open it so you guys can see like the table of content, Like, for example, he probably can't see this, but I don't know if you can see it or not. But then it tells you, the table of contents tell you the Hebrew names, right? So, but this is the books they got. So they got Genesis, Exodus. So they got the 66 books of this Bible. They have all these books in there. Plus, they have the book of Jubilees. They have the book of Enoch, the book of Jasher. Um, they got Tobit. They got First and Second Baruch. They got Wisdom of Solomon. They got Ecclesiasticus, right? They have additions to Esther in here. They got Judith. They got prayer of Manasseh. They got prayer of Azariah, Susanna. They got Bel and the Dragon. They got they got Ezra, and they got first and second Ezra. I mean third, well, I guess third and fourth Ezra. They got uh first, second, third, and fourth Maccabees. They got that. And then in the Old Testament, they got, yeah, so they got, the books of the Bible that they some of the books that they took out or whatever. So again, Sefer Bible, if you ever want to, so you go on Sefer.net, you can buy it off of there, and then you can also download the app, like, because they have an app. So I use the app a lot. The app tells you how to pronounce the Hebrew names and stuff like that. So I really enjoy that. So okay, so another thing about, what I noticed recently, like I said, I'll be posting stuff, right? And I'll be posting in all these different groups or whatever. And I've been accused of okay, people and I want to say from my experience, the people that have rejected the Sefer Bible have been European people. I'm not going to say all European, because there are some that knows the truth and preaches the truth. Like, for example, Dana Stevens. He had a church. Um, he had a church in Chicago, to my understanding, that he was preaching about how the people in the Bible were black, were black. And, people was getting upset about it. And they had beat him up and ran him out of Chicago, to my understanding. You know what I'm saying? And then I've heard of another pastor that had a church. Well, he was teaching. So it was so the people that did the documentary Write It Out, they was talking about how they had a friend that he was a Caucasian pastor or whatever, and he's the one that taught them about, hey, do you guys know who you guys are? You guys are the people of the Bible and stuff like that. And so he ended up moving to the Philippines, and he's still teaching that same truth. And the Europeans in the Philippines burned down his church. So that's how much they don't want us to know who we are. But this video is for that. So anyway, so when I be posting stuff about the Sefer Bible, or when I post saying Yah, I've always gotten, Europeans to be mad at me because I'm using the Sefer Bible. I'm saying, like, I'm using the Hebrew names and stuff like that. They call me a Hebrew Israelite, right? And now we're gonna talk about them too, because they're a whole nother you know. But yeah, and I'm just like, so I would tell my mom, I'm like, Mom, I would post something about, as a matter of fact, this is what I did. This is what made someone mad, right? So we gonna go to John chapter 20, verse 1, right? This is what I did. I did a Bible comparison, right? So John chapter 20, verse 1 says, the first day of the week cometh, Mary Magdalene early, when it was yet dark, unto the sepulchre, and seeth the stone taken away from the sepulchre. So notice it says the first day of the week. This is the King James version of the Bible, right? First day of the week, it says. Let's go to the secret. We're gonna go to this book right here, the secret Bible, right? So we can go to John 20, chapter 1. It says, now on that certain Shabbath, okay, came Miriam of Migdal early, when it was yet dark, unto the sepulchre, and saw the stone taken away from the sepulchre. So see, the Sefer Bible says the Sabbath. Okay? Y'all rose on the Sabbath. Yeshua rose on the Sabbath. He didn't raise on the first day of the week, like the Roman Catholics changed it to put that. But we're gonna get into that, okay? So did a Bible comparison, right? And so this dude, like, he blocked me from posting that into the group, and he said that I was a Hebrew Israelite, and we don't believe in that cult over here. And I'm just like, what? I never said I was that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just doing a Bible comparison. He like, that's not a real Bible, and this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, and then I had posted something about Yah, and some other guy was like, Yah, I don't see that in my Bible, and stuff like that, whatever. So I knew that some of them had a problem with the Sefer Bible. I just didn't understand that, and they related to the Black Hebrew Israelites. So let's talk about them. Because I don't want people to think that I'm a part of that cult, that foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's not to say that all of the Hebrew Israelites are like that, right? There's some that is not rebels, right? Because the most of them are rebels. You know what I'm saying? You see them out there on the corner holding a sign with Jesus with the sign, and be having like the horns coming out and stuff like that. They talk about graping, because sir, the algorithm be acting weird. Uh, Caucasian women, and talk about having many wives and stuff like that. But it's more so lasciviousness. It's more so lust. It's not, and some of them feel like they can be disrespectful, and just, so I don't want people to think that I turned that. I'm a follower of Yah. That's at the end of the day, that's what I'm not, what I'm saying? I know that now that I know that I'm from the seed of Jacob, it's like, wow, and I'm gonna talk about how I came to know this, because I didn't know this for a very long time. And I always had questions like, why are, black people hated so much? And I remember asking my mom that, and she was like, well, maybe because, at the time we was calling him Jesus, maybe because Jesus was black, you know what I'm saying? And I never had like a clear understanding as to why that that was, yeah. So one thing about the BHI, they know that they are the seed of Jacob, right? So they feel like they are high and mighty. I don't know if you ever listen to how they talk or stuff like that. They know the Bible. I'll say that they know the Bible. They know the truth about their heritage and stuff like that. But they have a twisted ideology in it. That's what I'm saying. It's twisted up. So I don't have no parts of that. You know what I mean? I'm not into you. You talk about you're gonna grape, Caucasian women and Caucasian people gonna be our slaves and all that. Man, I'm not with none of that. You know what I'm saying? That's the stuff that they be saying. You know what I'm saying? Like calling their women, their wives, the B word, and it's just a lot. I don't associate myself with that. So please don't take this that I'm saying that. I am not that. I am a follower of Yah. You know what I mean? And um, so how I found out that I was a seed of Jacob, well, actually, not just me, but African Americans, period. Well, actually, we are dispersed from throughout the four corners of the earth, right? So, and I got scriptures and all that to back it up. Now I understand. Now the Bible makes more sense to me because now I understand who the Bible is talking about, you know. And the sad thing about it is they took out the book of Jasher. That's one of the books that they removed. The book of Jasher. The book of Jasher explains about Esau, the Edomites, Rome, where the you know Europeans come from. You know what I mean? It breaks all that stuff down, but they removed that book so you don't know, So anyway, so watching this documentary, right? I found out a lot of things, that I just did not know, stuff that I had questions to, they answered the questions, and just stuff I just didn't know. Like I always knew about my history, but most people don't know Black American history as further than the 1900s. Our history go all the way back to the Bible days, if in case you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So how they brought us over here, they stripped us of our identity. They took away our names. They changed our names. Now, mind you, in the this Bible, they got their names, right? They changed the names. They didn't put the Hebrew names in here because in the Sefer Bible, Isaac ain't called Isaac. It's Yitzchak. That's his name. You know what I mean? Like Peter, he's not called Peter. His name is Kepha. You know what I mean? They changed the names of the people in the Bible. The Roman Catholics did to fit to fit them. So anyway, so it makes sense because they shipped us over here. The transatlantic slave ship dispersed us throughout the four corners of the earth, right? The seed of Jacob, right? The tribe of Judah. Specifically, I'm talking about the tribe of Judah, right? We were dispersed throughout the four corners of the earth, right? So they took away our name, they took away our language, right? They gave us a religion. So we're gonna talk about Christianity, why I no longer want to be connected with Christianity. But I am a follower of Yah. So don't get it twisted of what I'm trying to say, okay? You need to know the history. I recommend watching the video, White It Out. I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna repost it so people can watch it. You know what I mean? It's very, very eye opening. So they stripped us of everything. We had to learn, and not only that, I don't think you guys know this, but there was a slave Bible where they took out the book of Revelations. They took out a gang of books in the Old Testament. You know, they made it fit their narrative. You know, of them. You know, they holding the Bible in one hand and whipping us in the other hand. Bible in one hand, a gun in the other hand. You know what I'm saying? All in the name of Christianity. So we're gonna talk about the Roman Catholics. We're gonna get into it now, right? So they have a major influence on how the churches are run today. People don't want to believe that. A lot of people don't, because I posted this in one of the groups. People was like, no, they don't. They don't have influence on my church. Well, we're gonna get into it, right? So I have some more notes right here. So Pope Nicholas the Fifth, okay, 1455, supported the conquest of North and South Americans, 14 million of them being killed, all in the name of Christianity, right? So it's tons of Christian killings throughout the history. I don't know if you guys know, like the Crusades, that is Catholics. The Roman Catholics was part of the Crusade. Like all this stuff, all these Christian killings is inspired by the Catholics, right? So the Crusades, the Inquisition, the Holocaust, Salem witch trials, Native American slaughter, American slavery, and the KKK. All of those was done in the name of Christianity. The KKK is all in the name of Christianity. You know what I'm saying? They killed Christopher Columbus with the world celebrated Thanksgiving, Thursday? Do y'all know that that's a feast that that feast is a celebration of the massacre, thanking God for killing the Native Americans. They're not called Indians, but that's a derogatory term towards them. The Native Americans, and I don't even know what they was really called as far as Americans concerned, because America wasn't called America, right? So for the sake of this, we're gonna say the Native Americans. They killed the Native Americans all in the name of Christianity. Christopher Columbus was all behind this, and that's why they have the feast every year. Thanksgiving feast is a celebration of the massacre of the Native Americans, you know? And it's like, imagine how they feel every year. It's like somebody killing you and then dancing on your grave every year, you know? But people want to, of course, people going to say, oh, I don't do it for that. I'm not celebrating now. I'm just being with my family. People going to make up all kind of excuses. That's fine. Do what you do. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, Yah wants you, Yah says, worship me in spirit and in truth. And if you want to continue to worship him in a lie, that's going to be on you. And you're going to have to answer for that on Judgment Day. So, right? Carry on. So, they are the ones that manipulated scriptures. We're talking about the Roman Catholics, okay? They are the one who manipulated scriptures. And I just gave you an example of the KJV, John 21, the Sefer version, John 20, verse 1. He rose on the Sabbath. He did not raise on Sunday, right? And that's why they try to make it like, oh, because he rose on Sunday, you should worship Yah on Sunday. And let's talk about Sunday. They admit, some of y'all don't know this, the Catholics admit that they changed the day of worship from Saturday to Sunday. And I'm going to read you something, okay? So I'm not going to read all of this. I'm just going to give you a couple of examples of, I'm going to tell you the name of the book, the page that it's on. So if you want to look this stuff up, you can be my guest to look it up, right? So the vast majority of Christian churches today teach the observance of Sunday, the first day of the week, as a time for rest and worship. Yet it is generally known and freely admitted that the early Christians observed the seventh day as the Sabbath. History reveals that it was decades after the death of the apostles that a political religious system repudiated the Sabbath of Scripture and substituted the observance of the first day of the week. The following quotations, all from Roman Catholic sources, freely acknowledge that there is no biblical authority for the observance of Sunday, that it was the Roman Church that changed the Sabbath to the first day of the week, right? So they're going to tell you, right? So I'm going to read something. So this one, his name is Peter Gehrman. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but the name of the book is The Convert's Catechism of Catholic Doctrine. This book was made in 1957, page 50. So if you want to write this stuff down and look it up for yourself, The Convert's Catechism of Catholic Doctrine, 1957, page 50. It says, question, what is the Sabbath day? Answer, Saturday is the Sabbath day. Question, why do we observe Sunday instead of Saturday? Answer, we observe Sunday instead of Saturday because the Catholic Church transferred the solemnity from Saturday to Sunday, right? That's one example, right? It's a lot of them. I'm not gonna read all of this though. I'm just trying to give y'all some examples. I mean some, you know. So this one said, this one's the Catholic Mirror, official publication of James Cardinal Gibson's, September 23rd, 1893. So I'll read that again. The Catholic Mirror, official publication of James Cardinal Gibbons, September 23, 1893. The Catholic Church, by virtue of her divine mission, changed the day from Saturday to Sunday, right? I'm gonna read you one more example, and then that's it. Okay. This one. I have repeatedly offered $1,000 to anyone. Oh, I don't know which one this one is. But this one's on YouTube though. You can look this up on. I'm gonna post this video up on YouTube. I mean on my page too, so you can look at it. I have repeatedly offered $1,000 to anyone who can prove to me from the Bible alone that I am bound to keep Sunday holy. There is no such law in the Bible. It is a law of the Holy Catholic Church alone. The Bible says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. The Catholic Church says, no, by my divine power, I abolish the Sabbath day and command you to keep holy the first day of the week. And lo, the entire civilized world bows down in a reverent obedience to the command of the Holy Catholic Church. Ain't that something? So they tell you they was the one to change it. It's no secret about that, right? So let's continue on with the Roman Catholics. So I showed you about how they changed the scriptures, manipulated the scriptures. They changed the names to be more European name and not the Hebrew names. I showed you. I told you. So Isaac in the Bible ain't called Isaac. It's Yitzchak. And so they changed a lot of names. Peter ain't Peter. It's Kepha. That's his name. That's his Hebrew name, right? So carry on. So we talked about how he really rose on the Sabbath. He never rose on Sunday. They changed that too. All right. So they also involved themselves in pagan holidays. The pagan holidays, one of the holidays they made was Thanksgiving in reverence of killing the Indians. That's all Roman Catholics doing. The Crusades, all that stuff, the killing people in the name of Christianity, they supported that. You know what I'm saying? They believe they are equivalent to Yah. And I just read the last one that said that they think they have divine power to change things, right? So we're gonna get into some verses really quick. So okay, I'm gonna finish reading this about what I wrote down for the young Roman Catholics. Okay, and then okay, so this is another doozy that's gonna blow you away, right? How Christianity came about. It ain't what you think it is, right? So the Greek word for Christian is Christianos, Christos. That's the Greek word that they use for Messiah or Mashiach, right? So in the Hebrew Bible, it's Mashiach. Instead of Christ, they got Mashiach, which means the Messiah, right? So a pagan deity, Serapis followers was called Christians 2 centuries before the Messiah was even born. So it was already Christians walking around here, but they was worshiping a pagan deity, Serapis, right? So the apostles never called themselves Christians. They called themselves Messianics or Mashiachim. And that was what they referred by, because they didn't want to be called nothing that no pagan worshipers was being called, you know. And what happened was, okay, so Antioch, so in the book of Acts, chapter 11:26, it says in Antioch they were called Christians, right? So I'm gonna read exactly what it says because I got it saved on my secret Bible. So like, um, to give you more context, right? So Acts. I thought I had to say. Let me see. We're gonna go to Acts chapter 11, verse 26 says, and when he had found, but see, I'm using the secret Bible. I'm not using the and when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the called out assembly and taught much people, and the Talmudim, which is disciples, were called Mashiachim, but it's Christians. In the if you got the regular 66 books of the Bible, it say Christians, right? So mind you, they in Antioch, right? Antioch is an ancient Greek city, right? So if you live in Greek, I mean, if you're in a Greek city, you go, of course, you're talking in Greek and you're writing in Greek, right? So that's why they put Christians, right? For the Greek word for Messiah is Christianos, Christians. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the people were confusing the two, right? They was confusing the Messianics with the pagan worshipers, Christians. People was getting them confused, and what the Roman Catholics did was they kind of merged it together. They merged the two religions together to call it Christianity. So Christianity has a lot of pagan roots in it. You know what I'm saying? And if you do further research, the book of Matthew was written in Hebrew. So they never was called Christians. They was called Messianics or Mashiachim. Mashiach is Messiah, is Mashiach is Messiah in Hebrew, right? So that's what they did. They mixed Christos Mithras. Christos Mithras is in the Vatican Museum, right? That's a pagan god. So, and not only that, they have over 900 temples in Rome, right? They bought these pagan temples. And instead of them tearing down the pagan gods, they renamed them to saints like Peter, Paul, and all that stuff. That's so this is all based on paganism, you know? So I find this out and I'm like, wait, what? So this whole time, I'm like, I'm calling myself a Christian and we've been, this is pagan. This ain't even the real deal. So I'm just like, oh my goodness. Like, so I'm just like really like trying to digest everything because it's like when the Bible say that in the last days we will be deceived. If possible, the very elect will possibly be deceived. Man, it's going on right now. I'm thinking it's some whole other thing as far as like the Antichrist go. But I'm like, well, how is that possible when Yah and his word is telling us what's going to happen in the last days? You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of confused on that. So all of that came into perspective for me. Like, I get it. Like, the foundation of Christianity ain't what people think it is. You know, we've been told a lie. Thank you. It is scary. We've been fed a lie all of our lives because they want to hide history, the real history from us. They sugarcoat us with this Black History Month, February, telling us about the people that we know about already. Let's go back to the Bible days. You know what I'm saying? That's what a real history is, right? So when I found out that African Americans, I'm specifically talking about the tribe of Judah. We are Yehuda. That's the Hebrew name, Yehuda, right? We are the seed of Jacob. We are from the tribe of Judah, right? So all this mess that's going on and as far as Black people goes, we getting killed by the police. What you call that? Systematic racism, all of that stuff. Every race hate us. That's judgment because our forefathers in the Bible, in before they went to the promised land, y'all gave them a set of instructions on how to live in the promised land. right? So they went over there and turned their back on Yah, started serving them idol gods and doing all this foolishness. And Yah told them, before he even sent them over there, he told them what would happen to them if they turned their backs on him, right? So now, why are we going through what we're going through right now? Why are our brothers getting killed down in the street? Why is there black on black crime? Because it's judgment upon us. You know what I'm saying? We didn't walk away from Yah. We was his chosen people. You know? So I'm about to read some verses as far as like the Roman Catholics, right? So Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. And he shall speak great words against El Elyon, and shall wear out the Kodeshim, which is saints, of El Elyon, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a period of times and the dividing of times. This is Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. And we already see what the Roman Catholics done did. You know what I'm saying? They didn't change the day of worship from Saturday to Sunday. You know, so because they feel like they have the power to do so, you know. But in vain they do worship me, teaching the doctrines, the commandments of men. Matthew 15:9. So that's what we doing. We worshiping y'all on Sunday. He ain't never told us to do that. He told us to keep the Sabbath and keep it holy. We're gonna get into that though. We worshiping these pagan holidays. Y'all think, yeah, people think that oh, it's not a big deal. Oh, I'm with my family. Oh, as long as I use those days to draw people to Christ, as they say. You know, what the world call him Christ, Jesus, and all that stuff. I call him Yeshua. I don't want to call him Jesus Christ no more. His Hebrew name is Yeshua. You know, so the world want to make all these excuses as to why they celebrate these pagan holidays. Oh, I could draw people to, but if your life ain't living that every single day, you need to work on your salvation anyway. You ain't living right anyway. You feel me? So you need to check yourself. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to still do what you do. As long as I tell the truth, Yah has me using this platform to spread the gospel of Yah. The Basora of Yah. Gospel, Basora is gospel, okay? So Yah is letting me use this platform that they hate us because they ain't us, because they know who we are. But it's sad that some of us don't know that we are Yah's chosen. That's spot on. That's why they hate us. And they know that we are the chosen people of Yah, but we don't even know it. I'm just now finding this stuff out, and I'm just like, whoa, like. So it makes you want to read the Bible all over again, the Torah. It makes you want to read that all over again, because now everything come into perspective. You feel me? Like, anyway. So we following after the Catholic. Well, I'm not doing it no more. You know what I'm saying? I was guilty of it. I'm not doing it no more. But the world is following the commandments and traditions of the Roman Catholic. Okay? So another verse. And he said unto them, full well ye reject the commandments of Elohim, that ye may guard your own tradition. Christmas, Easter. You say forget it. Well, you know, if I'm using it to give God's glory, then it shouldn't matter. But y'all telling you it matters, right? Okay. And then and the sad thing about it is these pastors aren't telling people the truth. They're not. They're not telling the people we got Christmas trees inside the church. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, says Yahuwah. Therefore, thus says Yahuwah Elohe of Yisrael. That's Israel. Yisrael, that's the Hebrew name of Israel. Against the pastors that feed my people, ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, says Yahuwah. Jeremiah 23 verses 1 through 2. So I'm begging you, pastors, man, like, if you know the truth, say the truth. If you don't know it, if you really don't know it, don't take my word for it. I'm giving you scriptures that you can look up for yourself. I'm giving you everything you can look up for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Be like the Bereans and study the scriptures daily. Look stuff up for yourself. You know what I mean? Because I'm not trying to represent no cult. Look this stuff up so you can know, so you can be enlightened, right? So, and laid open the sefer of the Torah. And this is what's sad, because what do you see everywhere? People everywhere in the world except the blonde hair, blue eye Jesus. That's who they see as. You look at these Bible movies, who we got as Moses and all that, white people, right? They don't. It's not the people that was in the Bible. It's people of their images. And now listen to this, right? This is in a book that was taken out of the Bible and laid open the Sefer of the Torah, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. That's going on right now. You look on TV, what do you see? You see white Yeshua and yep, that's true. Church is a business now. It's a business. People trying to get rich off of their members. You know what I'm saying? You look at TD Jakes and Creflo Dollar and man. But anyway, so yeah, they want to say that Yeshua is white, but they painted the likeness of their. Okay, I'm gonna read that again. First Maccabees chapter 3 verse 48. And laid open the Sefer of the Torah, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. Right? Okay, and then this one is okay. So remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholds that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity does already work. Only he who now will let until he be taken out of the way. So they just out here just feeding us these lies, and we're falling for the okey doke. But you know, in the last days, y'all said that his people gonna wake up. We gonna wake up. Well, not everybody, but his chosen ones, the ones that's gonna grab onto the truth. Because just because you are a seed of Jacob, people just stop there. No, you still have to be grafted. You still, yeah, for sure. The so-called popes know the color of, yes, they do. That's why they doing what they doing. They keeping it from us. Like they ain't trying to, man. This brother speaking the truth on here. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. So anyway, so I'm gonna read. So I'm gonna read the judgments, right? I didn't write all of them down, but it's a lot of verses I got right here. What's going on? Why we are suffering the way we are suffering? Okay, this is all written in the Bible, right? So, and some of these books that's in the Bible, they removed. So I'm referring to those books too. So, First Baruch, chapter 4, verses 6 and 7. It says, "Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved Elohim to wrath. Ye were delivered unto the enemies, for ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to Elohim." See, so that's what we was doing back then. Our forefathers was worshiping these pagan gods and doing all this paganism when y'all was telling them not to do that. They turned their backs on y'all, you know? So, okay, so this one is First Baruch, chapter 2, verse 29 through 34. "If ye will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations where I will scatter them." Right? So, okay, I got a point there. "For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people." Talking about us. We stiff-necked, right? But in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves, and shall know that I am Yahuwah Elohim. For I will give them a heart and ears. I will give them a heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds. For they shall remember the ways of their fathers, which sinned before Yahuwah, and I will bring them back. I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, well, I was saying that's Isaac, and Yaakov, that's Jacob. That's his real name. Not Yaakov is Jacob's real name. "And they shall be Adonam," which is little Lord. It's little Lord of it. "And I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished." Right? So The reason why it's not that many you won't even believe this. The reason why it's not that many black people is because we've been whited out. It's a thing called blanqueamiento. Look it up. Look up whitewash. Look up racial whitening, right? So what they did was they paid Europeans to travel around the world and whiten out the population, right? So for example, like when you go in your nearest liquor store, beauty supply store, you see an Asian in there, right? The Asian is like, they super light, right? Why is that? Because the original Asians was black, right? They whitened them out. They paid the Europeans to whiten out. So whoever was down to procreate with a European man, and you do it over and over again, of course, eventually you're gonna whiten out the black, right? So if a black man and a white woman procreate, the child's gonna be, it's still gonna be black, right? It's gonna be half black and half white. But say the daughter procreate with a Caucasian man, right? The baby still gonna be black, but it's gonna the blackness is gonna, the number of the percentage of the blackness is gonna like diminish, you know. And the more that you procreate outside of that, you're gonna white it out altogether. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happened with the blacks all over the world. They got whited out, you know. And so First Baruch chapter 2 verse 35. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their Elohim, and they shall be my people, and I will no more drive my people of Yisrael out of the land that I have given them. Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 4. And you, even yourself, shall discontinue from your heritage that I gave you, and I will cause you to serve your enemies in the land which you know not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 4. So that's what we did. That's why a lot of people don't know their history. You know what I'm saying? This is proof. This is what's going on. Like, now when you read the Bible, it makes more sense. These curses, you understand who's who in the Bible now. Well, I do now, since I know the truth, you know, and I'm open to the truth, and I know how to. I want to. My heart, y'all knows my heart is to serve y'all the right way. You know what I'm saying? So whatever I've been taught that's wrong, I have to stop doing. For example, I can't be fornicating because I'm not married, right? So y'all specifically say don't fornicate. So if I say, oh, I'm gonna do it because I want to have kids, and y'all, you said in your word it's a blessing to have kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I try to justify my sin, it's still sin, no matter how I try to justify it or not. When y'all said don't do something, you don't do it, right? Okay, so um so yeah, a lot of people don't know our heritage because it's in the word. We wasn't gonna know, you know. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell there shall be stink, and instead of a belt a rent, and instead of a well set hair baldness, and instead of a stomacher a girding of a sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. Your men shall fall by the sword, and your mighty in the war. So you know why a lot of black women, now these are all the curses upon us, have alopecia. We, like, right here on the sides of our hair is coming out and all that. That's a part of the judgment that's on us. You know, you have to. That's a part of the judgment. You know. And I will set my face against you, and ye shall be slain before your enemies. They that hate you shall reign over you, and ye shall flee when none pursues you. Leviticus 26:17. So listen, we still in the land of our captivity. We still living in this land because everybody hate us. They reigning over us. They running this stuff, you know. Leviticus. Okay, so and then this another verse. And I will scatter you among the heathen, and will draw out a sword after you, and your land shall be desolate, and your cities waste. Then shall the land enjoy your Shabbats as long as it lies desolate, and ye be in your enemy's land. Even then shall the land rest and enjoy your Shabbats. Leviticus 26:33-34. And they shall fall one upon another, as it were before a sword, when none pursues. And ye shall have no power to stand before your enemies. And ye shall perish among the heathen, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up. Leviticus 26:37-38. Then and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive until all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the other nations until the times of the other nations be fulfilled. Luke 21:24. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon you, and shall pursue you and overtake you till you be destroyed, because you hearken not unto the voice of Yahuwah Elohaka, to guard his commandments and his statutes which he commands you. And they shall be upon you for a sign and for a wonder, and upon your seed forever, because you serve not Yahuwah Elohaka with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Therefore shall you serve your enemies, which Yahuwah shall send against you in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon your neck until he have destroyed you. Deuteronomy 28:45-48. Keeping mercies for thou. So this verse proves that we are in captivity, in the land of our captivity, because of our forefathers, right? So keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgressions and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty. Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children and upon the children's children unto the third and to the fourth generations. Exodus 34:6. So we're in the land of captivity because of our forefathers, what they're saying. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Elohim. And if it first begins at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the Besorah of Elohim? 1 Peter 4:16. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause Elohim shall send them strong delusion, that they shall believe a lie. 2 Thessalonians 2:10-11. So we are in the whole world is in the delusion. The ones that know, they know. You know what I'm saying? But the ones that's finding out, either the only way that you can get out of the strong delusion is knowing the truth and going forward with the truth and not a lie. For he has brought a nation upon them from afar, a shameless nation and of a strange language, who neither reverend old man nor pity child. First Baruch 4:15. So I read to you the curses that's upon Yah's people, and it's not the people that's in Israel. Because if you go to Revelation chapter 3 verse 9 and Revelations 2 verse 9, Yah calls them the synagogue of Satan, because they're not his chosen people. They never was in slave. They're not in the lands of our captivities. Yah said we are dispersed from the four corners of the earth, and when he come back, he's going to gather us from the four corners of the earth and bring us back to our land. We're not in our land. That's why all the stuff going on right now, because they're not supposed to be there. We're supposed to be there, you know. Okay, so now I share this information with you guys. Knowing the truth, right? This is some verses about knowing the truth. My people are destroyed for lack of the knowledge, because you have rejected the knowledge. I will also reject you, that you shall be no priest to me. Seeing you have forgotten the Torah of your Elohim, I will also forget your children. Hosea 4:6. For if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remains no more sacrifice for sins. Hebrews 10:26. But the hour comes, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in Ruach and in truth. For the Father seeks such to worship him. Elohim is that Ruach, and they that worship him must worship him in Ruach and in truth. John 4:23 through 24. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asks receives, and he that seeks finds, and to him that knocks it shall be opened. Matthew 7:7 through 8. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto Elohim, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. For as it was your mind to go astray from Elohim, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. First Baruch chapter 4, verse 27 to 28. My Father, which gave them to me, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. John 10:29. So say you are at this point in your life, you watching this video, right? And you're like, wow, I didn't even know none of this stuff. And you're interested in searching this information out and finding out for yourself, and you find out, what's being said here is the truth. All you got to do is just repent and just do different, because at the end of the day, y'all knew your heart. Y'all knows the people that really wants to do his will. He knows the people that's willing to just stop. If y'all say stop doing this, he knows the people that's really gonna take heart to the truth and really stop and change their ways. You know what I'm saying? So don't be discouraged if you find yourself like, man, I've been guilty of all this, because I was guilty of everything too. But gradually over time, y'all have been revealing stuff to me, revealing the truth to me, and I've always been open to the truth. And I just praise y'all that I'm one of them ones, man, that I want to know the truth and I'm gonna do better. Okay, so this right here, so people talk about, oh, the people over there that's in Israel, whatever, is the true people of is the true people is y'all chosen people. Not so. So this verses these I got 3 verses on this that's talking about y'all's gathering us. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from Elohim, for your enemy has persecuted you, but surely you shall see his destruction and shall tread upon his neck. First Baruch 4:25. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Yashariel, and gather together the dispersed of Yehuda from the 4 corners of the earth. Isaiah 11:12. So we are the ones that's dispersed, and y'all gonna gather us back. Um, the children also of Yehuda and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Yaviim, that's the Greeks, that ye might remove from far from the border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither you have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Yehuda, and they shall sell them to the Shebaim, to a people far off. For Yahuwah has spoken. Joel 3:6 through 8. So that's what the Hebrew Israelites get that. Oh, y'all gonna be our slaves and all that stuff. The Sabbath. Okay, now I'm gonna talk the verses about the Sabbath. And on the 7th day, Elohim ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made. And Elohim blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which Elohim created and made. Genesis 2:2 through 3. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Exodus 20:8. So I've come to know who I am. Does it stop there? No. Just because I know it, just because you find out that you the seed of Jacob, doesn't stop there. The word of Yah says you have to get grafted in, and we can't be like thinking that we all together, we got it going on because we the seed of Jacob. No, we are suffering because our forefathers walked away from Yah. That's what he did. He walked away from Yah, you know? And they walked away from Yah, and we're suffering. So now you can understand why we going through the things that we're going through, and look in the word. You can read it for yourself. I gave you the scriptures. You can go back and look at them for yourself. You can get you a Sefer Bible if you want it, because the Bible is like $150. But on the you could download the app. They have an app. You have to go on their website. I think, I don't know. I know iPhone, you could download the app from the app store, and you get the is one that you is they got a free one, but I don't think it could do that much. So I just went ahead and paid the version that you pay for is $21.99. Yeah, $21.99, something like that. And you can look on your phone. You can know the Hebrew names. You can see the other books of the Bible that was removed, and get you a proper understanding and all that stuff. And I just want to encourage our people, and even for the other nationalities, whether you're European or whatever, don't be discouraged, because at the end of the day, that's okay. So they are referred to as Gentiles. You know what I'm saying? And when Yeshua came, we didn't even accept him. So that's how it would open up for the Gentiles. So if you're a person that's a Gentile, meaning European or whatever, you still can be a part of Yah. You're not the seed of Jacob, though. You don't know that you're not considered. You're not the seed of Jacob, but Yah still will accept you and graft you, and you can be grafted in. But you gotta do what Yah do. So say like you find out that your great grandfather or great great grandfather stole some land for some black people, and right now you're benefiting off of that. You gonna have to fix that. You gonna have to fix that. You know, um, we are African Americans. We are suffering, or we are in judgment because of our forefathers walking away. Right. So it's trickled down to us. So the sins of your forefathers. I'm speaking to the Gentiles, whether you're European, whatever. The sins of your forefathers, the judgment gonna come upon you unless you get it right. So if you benefiting off of some stolen land or something stolen from somebody black, your ancestor did something you gonna have to make that stuff right. Whether if it's give it back to them or something, you gonna have to make it right. And this video is not to discourage anybody. I don't care what color you are, because I'm not. I've never been a person that was like look at color per se, because I think racism is the most dumbest thing in the world. But that's another topic for another day. I'm not trying to really get into that. This video is already an hour and a half long. But uh, we all have a shot to go to heaven. It's just that, are you willing to do the work to get there? Whether you the seed of Jacob or not. Do you want to do the work to get to heaven? Forget about what you think is okay, because what the Bible say, our righteousness is like filthy rags. So you say, oh, it's okay. I could do X, Y, and Z. I can still worship. I still can, man. I'm doing Christmas because, man, isn't nothing wrong with celebrating Yeshua's birthday on December 25th, and that's a pagan day. Y'all said don't worship me like the pagans do. He said that. And as a matter of fact, let me read one. Uh, okay. Take heed to yourself that ye be not snared by following them. After that, okay, this Deuteronomy chapter 12. I'm going to read 30 and 31. 12, 30, and 31. Take heed to yourself that ye be not snared by following them, after that they be destroyed from before you, and that you inquire not after their Elohim, saying, how did these nations serve their Elohim? Even so will I do likewise. You shall not do so until Yahuwah Elohaka For every abomination to Yahuwah which he hates have they done unto their Elohim. For even their sons and their daughters they have burnt into the fire to their Elohim. I feel like I'm missing something. So you see, he said, don't worship me like the pagans do their gods. We do that. We do that today by celebrating Christmas and all that stuff. And I had another paper of verses. I just realized that. Okay, so I'm gonna read to you about I'm gonna read these last few verses and I'm gonna be done. This video is an hour and 30 minutes. Um, these are some verses too that you need to read, that you need to think about. Okay. That's crazy how man. The devil is a lie. Okay, so we're gonna go to Proverbs chapter 14 and 12. And we're gonna read that. There is a way which seems right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. So you think it's okay to continue doing what you're doing as far as these holidays is concerned? You're gonna find out the day of judgment how that's not it. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Jeremiah chapter 10. I'm almost done. I knew it was gonna be kind of long, but not this long. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 10 verses 3 and 4. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cuts a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with the axe. They deck it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. I'm read the verse over. Jeremiah chapter 10. I'm gonna start at verse 2. Thus says Yahuwah, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cuts a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. Right? What that sound like? The Christmas tree. Right? So we're gonna go to one more verse, and I'm about to be out. We're gonna go to now. This is right here, Matthew chapter 12, verse 40. Right? For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the fish's belly, so shall the Son of Adam be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. So Yeshua, ain't no way he died on Friday and rose on Sunday after 3 days and 3 nights. That ain't that. He died on Wednesday, rose on the Sabbath. So I hope you guys learned something from this video. Again, look this stuff up, look it up for yourself, and ask y'all to lead you to the truth. He led me to the truth, and I didn't learn this in church. That's a sad thing. Didn't learn this in church at all. Yah, the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh taught me this, So I hope you guys was blessed by this. I want to say this: for many are called, few are chosen. That comes from Matthew 22:14. For many are called, few are chosen. Be blessed.